Hello and welcome into my kitchen. Now today I'm using a recipe from a friend of mine. Her name is Carla. It's called fried cabbage. Now I know a lot of people would say it's sauteed cabbage, but it's her recipe, so I'm going to call it what she calls it. And it doesn't have to be St. Patty's Day to have cabbage. You can have cabbage all year long, even if it's not New Year's Day, which some people will have a green stuff hoping for money on New Year's Day, and they select cabbage, which they could be selecting collard greens or spinach or whatever. But today I'm going to have some fried cabbage. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ingredients ready to go. Get my pan over here. I hope you can see it. Now I've got a half of a medallion onion, and I'm going to slice and dice and chop and get it ready to go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat on, and I'm going to put it in somewhere in between medium and low. I don't want to get it too hot. Okay, there's my onions. Now I've got a half of a small cabbage that I went ahead and took the core out of it. And I'm going to slice and dice it and chop it up into small pieces and get it ready to go. Now, a lot of people use bacon for this recipe, but I'm going to use a ham steak. I'm going to cut it on the bias. You don't have to do it that way. That's just my preferred method. And guess who's down here watching? You want to know where the term crumb snatchers come from? I got a dog that fits that description. And the first thing it says to do is put a tablespoon of butter in your skillet. Okay? There goes the butter. Turn up just a little bit. When the butter is melted, I'm going to add my onion. Okay, here goes in the onion. Now when it comes to putting onion in any recipe, it don't matter if you want to put a little bit more. Onion is good. It makes the recipe that much more richer. So if you want to use more onion, that's quite all right. Okay, this recipe calls for putting in your meat right away, but I've done a recipe before with cabbage, and I just think when you put the meat in too soon, it just adds to overcooking the cabbage and it gets it too brown. I don't want to get it brown. I like to have a little bit of al dente and crunch to it. But plus I like the color of the greens. I don't want it to get brown. Okay. Now, after the onions are sauteed, I'm going to put in a half a cup of water. And I'm going to put in about almost 2 cups of chicken broth. It calls for bouillon, but I checked the pantry, there was no bouillon in there, so I went ahead and just used chicken broth. And once that gets in there, then you add the cabbage. Okay. Now I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more, not much. I want it to cook, but I don't want it to overcook. I'm going to cook this until the liquid is more or less evaporated out of here. And of course, I want to put a little salt and pepper in here too. Not very much, just a wee bit. Okay, cabbage is in there. The cabbage and the onions is in there. Now we'll wait for the next step, which is going to be the ham. Cook it, and then I'll be ready to eat. Okay, I turned the heat up where it's just in between medium and medium high. Okay, most of the liquid has evaporated. Now I'm gonna put in the ham. It's already cooked, so it don't need to stay in there very long. Put a little bit of salt and pepper on it. Fried cabbage with ham. And it still has a little bit of al dente flavor to it, or texture, but it is very, very good. Okay, I'm going to try it out. Very good. The last time I made this, it was a little bit too brown and dried up. This recipe is really, really nice. It is so good. Got all the right flavors. A little bit of al dente to the cabbage. The ham, all it had to do was just warm up. And the chicken broth in the water brought a real good flavor profile to it. Thanks for sending me the recipe, Carla. I sure appreciate it. This is very good. I guarantee. Do yourself a favor and try this out. Okay, that's all I got. Goodbye. So good.